MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by the irrational fear of the dark, which may actually be rational. Because, did you just hear that, too?
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
We can't kill him. Jesus is a prophet. We should honor him.
Yes, and that's what we will be doing. When he died, his disciples created the resurrection myth, which gave birth to Christianity. We can correct that.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. And I think today we may be crescendoing, so if you like this type of content, I heard the like button was talking shit about your dad online. And if you're a real man, you'll hit him. You don't want to sit there and be emasculated by the like button, do you? You should probably hit it and subscribe. Please, seriously, we plow ahead every week. This guy busts his ass. We keep the content regular. We want to be here for you guys. Like, subscribe, comment. We want the interaction. Nay, need it. The algorithm is punishing us.
No.
But if you guys are tuned in today, and this is your first time watching it, your fifth time watching it, or your 50th, or if you are a beautiful fan Paulo and you've watched every one, buddy, it's a good day to be here because I think this may be the pinnacle of MaJaMa Jams. Now, for the past chunk of episodes, my brother here has been like, hey guys, the three of us are goofball comedians. That's great that you guys want to actually discuss cinema, but what I would like to do is have an absolute orgy of mockery for Z-grade trash that can bring out our inner jokesters. And the Italian here has obliged quite nicely. We've had Anatar, we've had Ass Pirates of the Golden Cobra, we've had,
Doesn't matter.
You know?
Of course.
But today, Matteo brought the biggest gift of all.
Happy Easter.
Assassin 33 AD. Extremists use a time machine to go back and commit the ultimate jihad of killing Jesus and the disciples before the resurrection. The young geniuses that created time travel must go back in time, dodge the assassins, interact with Bible characters, and make the corrections before the timeline overrides itself and starts the apocalypse. Whew! Now, Anatar was pretty great, those blue ducks and its weirdness. But when Matteo pitched this, he discovered it through a thing that said they commit this plot with a complete lack of irony. And that is the best starting point because we are given lines that are bad movie nirvana because they are delivered not even a fraction, Matteo,
Nope.
of winking, irony, joke, anything, 100% seriousness. Now,
Not even a blah, blah, blah. I can't believe I just said that.
Yes.
not the Marvel. Look, there's a floating city. What the hell is this? So, to be fair up front, at the end, chunk started to get a little tedious in the way that makes us want to commit suicide. But before that, this thing had lines that
Fair
were
chunk.
a fair chunk.
chunk.
But
After the opening credits.
Yeah.
I say that to say, if you had shaved maybe a solid 30 minutes off this thing, this would be a candidate for one of the greatest, most enjoyable, Toxic Obsession. That's what else I was thinking of. Toxic Obsession was an absolute gem, and we raved about how they cracked the code of how if you were doing it aware of so bad it's good, you did it.
Why does that not surprise me?
This, I think, is a contender for all-time GOAT if it wasn't for the bloatedness, which made me horrible
No.
at the end. Dude,
This was.
of course
just-
you can go back in time and save your parents.
If you let me go back in time and save my parents, then I will finish the time machine. Just no more violence.
Of course you can save your parents.
Of course you can go back in time and save your parents. I wish we had I can't have more memory of what the other lines were that were delivered with complete earnestness.
Did you save Jesus?
You have to make sure. Save Jesus.
If Jesus is God, I think he can take care of himself.
Make sure.
Okay.
There are glow sticks. Somebody must have come from the future.
Well, someone from the future was here. There are glow sticks everywhere.
Wait,
Which is what I say every single time I go to Ace.
hold on.
Yeah.
They have
Hold on.
glow sticks.
Let alone a rave. You just-
Indicative of what this experience of watching this was like, that was an actual line? I thought you said that as a joke.
No. He says as he enters the
Do you
tomb of
watch
Jesus.
these things, man?
Oh my God.
I understand we all disassociate to a certain
Hold on,
degree.
say it
but-
again. Say it again.
He says so there are glow sticks.
Well, someone from the future was here. There are glow sticks everywhere.
So something like that.
Commissioner Gordon! If that doesn't sum it up, guys. If that doesn't sum it up. Listen.
Yeah, had they done it with the tone of the Batman TV show, it would have been perfect.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Because you don't need, it's the tone that doesn't require an answer. But here, everything is straight. Everything is done with zero, oh, we just flew through time and we went back to Galilee.
No sense of
Nothing.
wonderment, no sense of shock, no sense of
Nothing.
how is this possible.
In Anatar,
It's just deaf. Just
Yes.
completely deaf
Yeah.
for every tone.
We have a problem. Ahmed killed my parents and he was going to torture and kill you guys, so I agreed to build the time machine.
A time machine?
Yeah, long story.
It looks like the director say, yeah. Don't worry about that. Just,
in
move,
Anatar,
move.
he asked our mutated duck
Yes.
protagonist,
Da dove vieni? Dal cielo. Devi sentirti sola lontano da casa.
and Mateo goofed on the fact that in 2 seconds he was like, oh, the sky, and we're moving on. That sensation is this entire movie. Not one character, even for a second, even in a goofball, meta, overly aware, on the nose, fourth wall breaking, even in that, no one says, what? Everyone just completely accepts the wildest of circumstances.
The only thing at a certain point, vaguely, when somebody wonders,
Did he just speak English?
In 33 AD. Don't be a moron.
at a
Points
certain
for that.
Well-
Points after Mateo mocked it too.
Yeah, they'll ask things like that, but it's never
No, but
the physical,
Physical.
emotional
Crumbs credit where crumbs
reaction
credit
or
due.
expect
yeah, but
from
still,
anyone.
Yes. I mean, when if you are traveling even from one space to another,
Yes.
it should be something.
We're good?
Check her. Find him.
So I know we kind of. I mean, I don't think we can get into the technical aspects because any time travel film is going to be riddled with
Yes.
millions of holes and
Inconsistencies
yes,
and stuff. Yes.
in terms of the technical aspects of how this could actually work. But I think we do need to kind of give a brief
Well,
technical synopsis.
Do you guys think that maybe there's one
Probably.
sentence I could say that, you know, we'll get into it, but is it possible there's one sentence I could say that would encapsulate everything about this existence for the viewers? Let me try. Our third build is Heidi Montag from the Hills on MTV about 20 years ago, who has 2, 3
Maybe.
lines.
You made the right decision. We both agreed this was right for our daughters.
Less than 3 minutes of screen time.
Third build.
It's like Coolio in Fat Beach.
Yo, what's up, homeboys and homegirls? Welcome to the 1995 summertime fly-ass fat beach bikini contest, baby!
Flawless reference.
Is she on the cover? Is there a cover?
There is a cover, yes.
Is there a poster?
Because also this movie has been re-edited 1 year later because apparently it wasn't clear enough. They added some 10 minutes. One day I will watch it, probably in 20 years from now,
Forgive me.
if I'm still alive.
I forgot to start with something
I'll
which I
kill
feel
you.
like is essential to something. So Mateo pitched this to us as Black Easter, and he says a group
That's
of...
the name of the re-edit.
That's the name of the re-edited one. This one was 2020 AD 3 GG.
Assassin 33.
Assassin
AD.
33.
Well,
Originally he pitched it as Black Easter. He said a bunch of Muslims go back in time and try to kill Jesus. And so I was, of course, excitedly thinking to this, and in my head all day long, as if it was crystallized, as if I knew it was a 70s leaning into the exploitation flick that knew it's the humor of it. It was going to be grainy, and we were going to see guys in Halloween stores,
Yes.
easy top beards.
Yes.
That if you Mad TV put out jihadists, they'd look like that, and they'd be running around, and the whole thing would be a grainy 70s.
Body of Christ?
When he first told me, it was what, 4 years ago?
2020.
Completely modern. with slick, compared to what I was thinking, production values, a modern Christian propaganda 2-3 years ago, time traveling.
I don't even know if it's propaganda.
I mean, they lean.
It's a Christian movie with the.
I guess it depends on the technical definition of.
Yes, but the protagonist is questioning his.
Well,
not even his faith, but he's questioning why God.
But I served you. I played this life by your rules. I've done everything that you've ever asked of me. You take my family. What kind of God are you?
I don't say that because of that aspect. I say that because of the whole. The villains are the Muslims, and we're going back to finally rid the world of the scummy Christians.
That's one of the problems, that you make it a terrorist group with a weird belief system or something like the fact that you slam.
All right, if you want to get down, we're a terrorist group with a weird belief system. You don't need to know what. You just need to know we got guns and we'll
grab a religion. Like Islam, and be like, these are going to be our protagonists.
To be fair,
they're extremists
to be fair,
they're Muslim extremists.
In the same way that I was shocked they actually called out the Why is Jesus Speaking English, they actually say, why would Muslims do that? They wouldn't, but they belong to an extremist group, which for this movie is like the greatest screenwriting in history.
Why would Muslims do that? Makes no sense.
They wouldn't, but Ahmed's part of an extremist group.
This can't be happening.
But that doesn't unwrite everything you've done and the bad faith that you've dispelled.
We'll finally go back and make a world with no Christians.
Finally, a world without filthy Christian scum.
We now return to
MaJaMa. This is history in the making. You four will be famous for creating matter transfer. Follow me. You are now my top team.
Originally, the story is that they're trying, since they plow through the whole thing without giving you a moment.
Yes.
I mean, it's
all right, here we go.
It's boring as
it's
hell.
Like running through wall after wall head first.
So they want to originally build a machine that is actually
a matter
moving.
Displacement.
Yes, kind of like the Fly.
Yeah.
As these things often start.
Yes. And then in reality, the financier, Ahmed, played by a Mexican gentleman, because why not? In reality, he wants to go back to the past to prevent the murder of his parents, who were killed when he was a child in front of him, and for some reason, he has the knife that they killed the parents.
Yeah, how would he hold on to that as a kid?
I'm sorry?
How would he hold on to that knife as a kid?
You know what it reminds me of?
If it was
in
a
the
knife
thing where this is the guy my dad ran over with his boat in this framed picture.
Well, looks like the party's over for this joker.
Yeah, my dad ran over him with a ski boat.
And what's that on your business desk? This is the knife my parents were slaughtered with.
I can understand that he steals it. He cuts the guy's face.
Yes.
But then they're going to take him and
rape him.
Do whatever they do with the
The funny thing is that apparently he escapes, because then the guy who gets disfigured or at least cut by him say,
Bring him. He'll pay for this.
He was in front of him.
Oh,
it's just a thing.
Okay. But that plot line is quickly dropped.
Yes.
When he's like,
in addition to a number of other ones.
Because then he says, oh, wait a second.
You know it would be better than saving my parents' life? Killing Jesus.
Jesus. So the whole plot is that they have to save Jesus so he can actually get killed on the cross. But not
the scientists have to go back in time.
See,
to thwart Ahmed's plan.
They have to save
of killing Jesus.
The idea of killing Jesus before he gets killed.
So they discover time travel through this matter displacement.
Yes.
Thing by realizing that if you displace matter, there's got to be some sort of time difference between when it leaves and when it arrives. So they discover time travel that way. They get brought into a bigger lab and they eventually create it.
This is a lot harder than I thought.
So once we get to them in the past and we start having 3 different timelines, it's just off the rails of trying to
Yes.
make sense of any.
Especially because in one of the timelines they bring Jesus to present, the body of Jesus to present,
Yes.
and for some reason a body bag materializes into the transport, because when they arrive, because
No, he was wrapped. He was just wrapped up, I think.
No, it was a black body bag.
Maybe they brought a bag. And...
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna use a body bag. So
I just don't
pack carefully.
I don't understand how a Christian or a Christian could create this, being like, we're gonna murk Jesus, granted off camera, but we're gonna do a headshot
Twice, because he shot it twice.
Yeah, and that's gonna be in our film for.
Well, you know, Matthew, you bring up a good point, which I want to actually approach seriously, is that Christian rap is a big genre, and granted, I've always been attracted to the more unsavory elements of hip-hop, but that kind of on a base level feels like if you're doing like and again, feeding to the stereotypes, not all middle finger waving gun hip-hop, but to me, it's like if you're going to do what is usually a more aggressive thing, it seems to jive on a base level. Now, that just might be me and stereotyping people, but that's an interesting question because this is a little bit more extreme of a I actually say it as the recognize. Say it as the typo. The reconciler. This is a little more extreme than the reconciler, where I spent a lot of the episode being like, Mateo, do you think actual practicing Christians could enjoy this?
They call him the reconciler.
You really think
The who?
Dude, don't you read the papers?
Yeah, I get most of my news.
Never mind, okay? What did you call this guy?
The reconciler. This has his signature all over it.
And in retrospect, that makes a lot more sense they would. It's a little hokey but charming story. This, I'm actually curious as to his question, because do you think people to whom Christianity means something, wouldn't they be like, what, you're shooting Jesus and friggin'...
Yeah, it's...
Or like, granted, every movie that depicts Jesus, he most likely is beaten...
Yes.
Brutally.
I mean, yes, look at Noah's The Passion. That's
I'm saying,
horrific.
That's just part of his story.
It is an interesting question. Like, wouldn't someone who actually it means something that they'd
like
be like, what are you doing with
a black
this?
ops team going back in time and putting a gun to Jesus' head seems pretty extreme for a Christian film.
Again, I don't know. That's why I'm
the
genuinely
only thing
asking.
that I was thinking is, which was kind of like what I was thinking when it was the reconciler, is maybe they try to do, forgive me, it's not the right word, but cooler version of the story in order to try to entice the interest of younger kids who are definitely they're not going to read the Bible as is.
Well, we have a version with Black Ops.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that does
at
make
least
sense.
That you want to say, hey, let's see what actually happened. Maybe there is a...
Well, again,
what demographic we could appeal
it's
to.
Not, It's not necessarily, it's a specific question, but it's not necessarily relegated to something like the Christian movies, because how many times on jams do we play like, wait, hold on. Who is this for? It's a question that happens with other movies. So it seems, I agree with you that I do feel like either you would be like, look, this means something to Mateo, but he can also enjoy a bad movie. So I feel like either it would be like, it doesn't matter, and then you can enjoy it or laugh, or if you are like, Jesus really means something, you would be like, what is this, or this is blasphemous.
Because
I don't know.
It's the ultimate jihad. Eliminate Christianity by killing Jesus before the resurrection. Muhammad just killed off every Christian that ever existed.
It seems strange.
I think we were all saying, what is this, right?
No matter what your faith, you'll be seeing what stuff.
Multiple times while watching it. Because one thing is Life of Brian.
Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah! I say you are, Lord, and I should know I followed a few. Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah. Will you please listen? I am not the Messiah. Do you understand? Honestly!
Which was encounter with a lot of people protesting, and they even before it came out, actually before they start shooting it. But that is a movie that, as usual, and the same thing happens in Dogma.
Oh, Bartleby. Was Wisconsin really that bad?
Bow down, stupid!
That people protest
without any knowledge.
First of all, like that, but mostly just because they say, oh, they're comedians, they will make fun of Jesus. Both movies, which is one thing that escapes everybody, both movies says that there is a God, there is a Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's not, they don't mock the deity or the.
And also for being notoriously foul-mouthed, and that's his brand. I feel like Kevin is actually a Catholic boy. That in the end, he believes.
Yeah.
So
No, but
I love that he brings that up because
you always make fun, like Monty Python and them, and you make fun of the human aspect of religion, how certain people distort religion and interpret it the way they want, or because if you say, being gay is an abomination to the Lord, and say, granted, but also is eating shellfish, or the Leviticus allows you to sell your first daughter, and so there are plenty of rules that you can pick and choose and make the religion to something that it's close to you in general. But yes, those two movies do admit there is a God, is omnipotent, and it's the men who are flawed, and they interpret it in a bizarre way.
Anything that happens from this moment on, that's on you.
This one, by stripping it with any kind of irony or any kind of self-awareness, whatever, it's baffling because I genuinely, definitely, even people from my age and older, they wouldn't make.
How do you think your mom would react to this?
No, my mom would say, "What the hell is this?" And
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like, if you're actually devout, which I assume when you're marketing Christian movies, it's like you're going to market to the devout. Like, you'd be like, what? You put this on Sunday?
This is hopeless.
The thing that to me is infuriating is a great idea. And if you do it with gusto, or again, with kind of like campy style, it would be fantastic.
So the scene where our black scientist, who, as you say, they had to work in a bootleg the movie joke.
I'm from the future. And I've seen your movie. We got it on bootleg. Forgive me, Lord, I'm sorry.
But on that note,
sorry,
that scene plays as odd in this movie. It's almost kind of, the style is.
What scene?
The black guy meets Jesus
when he's one-on-one with Jesus.
But it's maybe because the movie is so devoid of humor that I'm sorry, Jesus, I bootlegged it, kind of one way or another stood out to me, and I was like, I'm sure he's done something similar, because I'm sure people who have done the, pig and like, imagine Mel Brooks writing that scene.
Yes.
You're right. Jesus.
Yes.
What?
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 Yes.
Jesus.
What?
Yes.
What?
You said what?
What?
Nothing.
I feel like you can make, like we were goofing on, like, wait, you're saving me so I can get on a cross and hung, and I bootleg the movie. I feel like a master comedian, like you said, there's elements here, you can make it painfully hilarious. Yeah. Jesus is like, oh, actually, I'm going to be, maybe we can not, I'm going to get crucified, and I bootleg the movie, and it comes across as awkward here, but I'm like, I bet you can make this hilarious in the hands of
absolutely, yeah.
Like you said, there's, maybe not as like you said, maybe not as a straight Christian movie, but if it's going to be like a satire, this could be hilarious.
Yes, with their budget too, you could probably do something very funny.
It doesn't look terrible.
No, it looks terrible.
Well,
but if
again,
you do
it
tongue in cheek and make it campy, then you can kind of sell that aesthetic.
This can't be right.
The world that you created, a world without forgiveness.
And at least, for instance, compared to The Reconciler, I think that they had a larger budget because they have a little more spaces where to go. They have a small CGI-ish, and so there's a little bit more of...
Got plenty of static electricity.
Yes.
Get down!
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Target verified. 3, 2, 1, engage.
The whole thing is very violent. There's enough violence throughout it where they're trying to get the code from the main guy, Ram.
Yes.
And he says he won't give it up, and they bring his parents in. And we don't know anything about this guy's backstory, where is his parents from, or what they've involved in, or what kind of people they are. But within a split second, he's like, no, I'm not going to give you the code. They blow his dad's head off. Give us a code, I'm going to kill your mom. Within another second, they blow his mom's head off. Just get rid of their bargaining chip, but also just, it's very violent for what I expected. So like you're saying, maybe this was trying to appeal to a younger crowd who sees these types of film. But hey, if we could take that violence that the kids love and put a message in, maybe that could work, sell it.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of bullet holes and gore and gunshot wounds. So it's kind of throughout it. So just it's surprising to see that.
Yeah.
Did you know what? I just realized what these beautiful lines are. So there's a large amount of Office fans, so they have Agent Michael Scarn, the screenplay Michael Scott creates, and eventually they act it out, but they goof on how Michael wrote it.
Mr. Scarn, perhaps you would be more comfortable in my private jet.
Yes, perhaps I would, Golden Face. Sam, get my luggage.
I forget it, brother.
Samuel, you are such an idiot. You are the worst assistant ever. And you're disgusting.
And the way that you would, as a comedy writer, okay, you have this jackassy boss, he's inflated with himself, and he wrote a script. The type of lines as a comedy writer you would put in that script of Michael Scott is everything we get here delivered, like we said. So my brain, the only one I really remember, because it's similar to Freddy Got Fingered.
If you let me go back in time and save my parents, then I will finish the time machine. Just no more violence.
Of course you can save your parents.
Of course you can have a piece of cake. It's your birthday. Because I don't even think he says it annoyed, because he's still trying to fake bargain with him. So he's like, can I go back and kill my parents? He's like, of course you can go back in time and save your parents.
Not even a question, buddy. Yeah,
delivered so seriously, dude. I wish I remembered more. Mateo, the editing wizard, will probably put some in, but like every line is like, don't worry about me, go save Jesus. No, forget about that, jump in the time configurator and stop them from shooting Jesus in the head. Delivered with...
It's also just mediocre actors trying to pull this off as straight, but on top of that, it's just clunky, once again, first draft dialogue, where it's just...
Perplexing. Did you notice perplexing? I am notorious for having verbosity and using perhaps too many words, but there's a way to put a word.
That's perplexing. It's perplexing.
You can write a character with good writing to say, like a Sheldon, just from Big Bang Theory, to say perplexing naturally. Here,
what's the name of the show?
I remember both times he says like, well, perhaps, but that would be perplexing, and it just sounds so like, oh,
hey, Jesus Christ, man, we are right next to you.
Like, oh, that was perplexing. It's kind of like when someone will not put a contraction, and you can talk like that, but if you don't have it stylistically, oh, it is hot outside. No, a person would say it's hot outside. So like,
it's how a lot of Italian screenwriters write their movies. They write the first thing that they think about it. They don't even try to make it colloquial or something. They say, oh, he has to convene that I don't know, there is a person in the attic and he needs to be killed. And the line is, there's a person in the attic who needs to be killed. That's it. You just like go with that.
Yeah.
Cut and print the first.
And then on top of that, just no one is amazed, bewildered, confused, scared, in wonder of any sort of technology that's being created. Granted, they are the scientists that are creating it, but they also discover time travel inadvertently through another experiment.
Yeah. Weight, distance, photons, matter, volume. Transfer from there to here requires energy, wavelength, distance, and GPS coordinates. I've covered every variation.
So you think that kind of mind-blowing discovery
and they're also using...
But wait, that means, what does he have them there for? He wants them to discover time travel.
No.
They want to...
Well, see? Why are they working there for him in the first place?
Because no, they're just scientists working on
on a teleportation
placement
device.
But
they will compete against 5 other teams to attempt to complete the first matter transfer machine.
The gentleman funding it, as he says very blatantly, is our jihadist leader. So therefore, he's covertly, the premise is he covertly has scientists working.
No. He's just creating different things and they're just trying to overthrow the
Listen,
Christianity.
You guys always ask this. I'm not trying to go back in time and kill Jesus. I'm just creating different things. What type of things? I don't know. Maybe you want this thing.
They're creating different. Yeah, I think they're building their empire. to hopefully
He has no intent of
overthrow-
going back in time and killing Jesus until they randomly
I think
discover
until
time travel.
randomly
He has no
discover it.
intent of going back in time and killing Jesus until they randomly stumble onto time travel. But then,
'Cause
light bulb.
He has a meeting. So okay, so
I remember the fake. But they
hold on.
They go to make out behind the
They go to make out
There's an
behind.
iPad.
They find a spot that the camera can't see in the laboratory, and they go to make out because the guy and the
iPad
main girl are
randomly.
in love or something. So they go to hide behind something, just behind some servers.
Yeah,
and they're making out.
intercept,
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, hey, did you hear that?"
Why is this iPad playing this nefarious conversation?
And he hooks up something to an iPad, and he's able to see Ahmed talking to some jihadist leader in another country.
If these kids keep doing their job, it won't be long before we can transfer supplies, bombs, and more. We can strike any GPS coordinate.
Perfect. Make sure you get this right.
Got it.
Talking about the plan to.
What are they talking about
wipe
then?
out Christianity or overthrow.
Right, so he's working on that for that purpose.
Yes, but it's just a random
hopes to,
experiment that
yes.
could be used somehow.
Did you do
in
some
their-
random
No.
experiments that will
It's-
hopefully end Christianity?
It's an amalgam
What
of
did you just ask
scientists
me?
who are creating different sciences and technology that could be used for their plan. When they discover time travel, it's, okay, that's great. I can actually go back and kill my parents. Actually, what's even better, let's go back in time and kill Jesus and just kind of all.
Oh, wait,
assemble.
he
He wants to prevent his parents to be killed by a
but
whatever.
Yes, but I'm asking, is that the motivation for all these scientists doing projects?
No.
There has nothing. It just
he wants his as a.
So you mean to tell me the screenwriting brilliance is that this scientist is just having science?
Yes.
This guy is funding
As a
random projects,
it's
and
a
he's like,
terrorist-
hold on,
It's
they
a
read.
it's a terrorist organization.
Yes.
They have a front as a government,
Because originally-
a U.S. government company who are creating different technologies.
While you were talking earlier, one of the lines that I think I perceived.
I think I
it
missed a
says-
lot with the first two.
Yes, it say if we are doing the matter displacement, we can send bombs wherever we want.
Okay, yeah, something like that.
Without
yeah.
leaving the place where we are. So you arm a bomb, you say, let's send it wherever. They don't even remotely acknowledge, which among the other things, because they arrive and say, let's go in the past to kill Jesus. Yes, they send it to the past to the Gethsemane's orchard, and oh, there's Jesus.
Yeah.
Galilee was a little big, and for
Let alone
Not even
going
typing in the
back
coordinates or something.
2,000 years. How could you even start to figure out the coordinates of where you're actually being placed?
Yeah, you can't find the coordinates where you were last week.
I mean, honestly, you probably should have done some sort of Ninja Turtles 3
Jesus
sorcery type thing as opposed to actual physical technology.
Yeah.
Dude, see, in the right hands, you could literally have a guy hold up a Jesus Tracker 3000. Boop,
yes,
boop,
exactly.
Yes.
boop. This could be, I mean, this is a masterpiece
But
in its
also,
own bad
okay,
movie way,
so
but this could be an
I
actual...
forget how he actually discovers time travel, but I guess they're monitoring everything, so somehow they're able to determine that it's very quick.
Yes.
Very
Everything
at face
is
value.
really quick.
So they
Fuck about what about when at the end of the movie his son,
whose son?
His son runs in, the second son runs in half naked in a friggin' robe and just shoots the agent in front of the parents and he's like, Mom, Dad, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll just go with this.
Hold on,
You
man.
ever just seen there's a second and half
way
naked.
too ahead. Way too far.
It's like it matters.
Oh, but they lock him in the laboratory and they get the rest of the scientists out. They're like, hey, you're going to work on this for the next 3 days. I'm not sure why they give him that time limit.
Yeah.
But he's able to not only perfect time travel, he's able to create watches that
A bunch of them
that are able to bring you back once you travel to where you're going to.
Yeah.
He has like a wealth of them, at least like what, 10 maybe?
Probably even more.
Within 3 days, let alone just creating the prototype of that technology.
Yeah, you want a time bracelet?
So we didn't even introduce the white guy family, Hadi Bantag's.
I have this feeling like God is about to do something really miraculous through you.
Hadi's
Yes, her
her
one
husband
who's questioning why God. is
Yeah,
allowing
the first
it.
opening scene is his family getting nailed by a truck, and his wife and his children are dead. He ends up being head of security at this corporation, at this company, and he's leading the black
My
ops.
family's dead, so I'm looking for a way to stay busy. I've become head of security at a terrorist organization trying to discover time travel to
But
kill
they don't
Jesus.
know it's a terrorist organization.
Yes.
They're under the front of it's an actual science company. So he's led the exposition in the past
to kill Jesus.
Yeah, because he doesn't
Actually,
see.
he does kill Jesus.
He's the one who actually kills him.
Yeah.
He doesn't see the parents. He doesn't understand that this is the guy in the ferry. He doesn't see the parents get killed. But
I didn't sign up for this.
he knows enough that he's like, hey, I need you to work on this scientist. He won't give me the code. He's stealing information from us. You have skills and you have skills and
you have specific skills
from being in the military for so long, and it just cuts to him knocking him in the face. Like, we could have done that, asshole.
They taught me this in training. It's called punching someone in the jaw.
So he leaves the mission. He goes back in time, kills Jesus and a bunch of the disciples, and brings back the body as proof.
I guess there is no.
Look, a lot of dudes back then had beards and long hair. Are you sure?
Seriously?
Yeah. He has an ID.
Target acquired.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
If it is already so, you can still change things for the sake of one. You are the creator of all time. You can change whatever you desire.
I will say this. For the type of movie this is, Jesus is usually friggin' Vogue model, cheekbones thin. They at least gave him more of a schnoz of like the, not Jewish people. I'm saying like a European type. Dude, honestly, I was impressed by that in this movie because usually Jesus is all model, like thin, perfect face. This at least he had like a European
at least
schnoz.
He's not too. Stop. He's European. It's not European.
I'm European.
He's still white.
Look at my friggin' nose.
He's not too white at
Look
least.
at it. Yes, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A movie like this usually be like, I'm perfect model, cheekbone Jesus. No, he looks a little
wearing a lot of eyeliner too.
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
All right. So once they come back with the body, Ram
and the pool.
Because they free him.
Yes. Because the
other scientists somehow find out that he's been locked up.
And one of them is able to disable all the alarm and security.
Like, no problem. They get him out of there. And he explains everything. And they don't even understand that. They don't even find out that time travel exists, that he figured it out through that, right?
Yeah.
Until he tells them after they untie him. And they accept it like that. Yeah. Like that. Not even questioning it, not even like... There's not even a 2-second scene where
someone's to run after him into another dimension?
Dude,
what? Okay.
The henchmen who have no knowledge of time travel or any sort of scientific...
My first day on the job, I'm running into
degrees. They're like, oh yeah, I'll run into this vortex, this portal of electricity and see where it comes out.
Legit.
And then like you arrive at your destination wherever in the past or the present or just another part of the warehouse and you're just ready to go without any sort of nausea or dislocation.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing.
How do you feel? I didn't feel anything. Walk around. It's good.
There's no, once again, where are we? No, it's fine. And here we are. In 10 minutes they will arrive and we have to stop them. And
so
then
they go back to the first time and everyone gets shot. The girl gets shot. The guy...
Because they are armed with sticks versus guns.
Yes. Or no, they're not even...
They're like, we'll get this element of surprise, and they literally, the second they appear, they start clubbing them. Half of them get shot.
The whole idea is that when they, which is actually kind of clever, like when they're being transported to the past, they're like, here, sticks in their transparent.
Yeah, when they appear.
When they fully materialize as a tangible form, they're formed with sticks through them.
But
particles are appearing.
They're much more the commando.
And they still all have
more numerous than the 4 guys.
Yes.
How about hey, don't worry, I sent us 10 minutes before they come. Let's dude, give yourself a friggin' hour. He literally says I sent us here 10 minutes.
Wait, but there's like 3 times to go back, because his version goes back to the future. To tell the new staff that they all died, so they got to go back to the past to get the... What are they going back for? Oh, wait, why don't they just... Because he comes back to the present to. Someone's left. The girl shot initially.
Woo!
Or the girl shot the
Yes,
second time.
she gets. No,
What happens the first time with all of them?
they all die, and then they get transferred. They arrive to the teleportation, all dead, except for him, except for the scientist.
Gunshot wounds to the kids. Sticks in our guys. This is strange.
The black guy's there for a whole day.
No, but then
and he doesn't poop.
The Hispanic guy is sent to the.
Or he doesn't wipe.
He sent.
He said there's no toilet paper. That means he didn't wipe.
It would be me. Everybody else gone. I'm stuck here for a day. He ain't got no toilet paper, no nothing, man.
He's sent to the future.
Imagine all that's going on, plus in the crack.
Because then he's like, "Hey, look what you did! You killed Jesus. The whole world is crumbling apart." And then they see different futures. Like one is just like,
that's
just
way past. Yeah, that yes, but yes.
No, because that's one of the only second time. Remember, because he died. Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
He dies first. Well, all right. Time travel business aside, that we can't even try to. They go back and forth a few times. Different versions of themselves come forward. He's explaining his plan to versions of the scientists that haven't even been through anything to understand anything that's happened before, and they once again accept it at face value.
Yes. Don't forget about the
they
sign
all
language.
go. Yeah, the girl.
Oh yeah,
uses,
she sees herself doing sign language,
and she explains what everything that just happened to that version of herself that has no idea time travel exists.
Yes.
And explains, hey, we went back in time.
She
Jesus is
doesn't
dead.
even-
You got to go back in time to save Jesus. And
she accepts. She's not even remotely.
Wait, hold on. Let me get a notepad out. Jesus
surprised
dead.
that she is seeing herself.
Yes, man.
There is
Not
nothing.
even a second of what am I seeing? Are you guys seeing this too? Not even one line to at least humanize the characters.
Yeah.
They are just textbook written characters.
This is surreal.
Amy, where are you signing?
Ahmed used Ram's time machine to go back in time.
Perplexing.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Okay, so time travel issues aside, we eventually get to some timeline where the main guy needs to. Oh God.
He has
Okay.
to forgive
the
guy who killed his parents in a different timeline.
But he didn't even kill it. No one. The random henchman killed his parents.
Yeah, but he says you're gonna. I guess that is
Bertrand killed his
your
parents.
people are
Bertrand?
killing
Who's the-
your team are killing my.
Who's
parents.
the Craig Kilborn guy?
That wasn't me.
Bachman.
Yo, either way, they appear again. So, but the team is ready for them this time. Him and one of the lead guards, the white guy and one of the lead guards, topple backwards down a hill. Everyone gets shot. The girl gets shot in the stomach. Our main guy takes off his pants and his shirt.
Why do you think they did? Oh, because he had to be like the guy in the Bible.
Yeah. No, so they could know that something he could. Don't shut up. Shut up. He takes off his pants and his shirt to wrap around her wounds. So he's running around in boxer shorts and shoes, and he finds this main guard he's kind of been beefing with the entire time. And instead of this guard who is fully suited up in tactical gear
with a
gun,
sees this dude running at him. He's like, oh my God! And he starts running away from him. Like, dude, what are you talking? Shoot him in the head.
Brett, is that you?
As granted, far more shredded than my disgusting body, but lanky and tall as me, running around in boxer shorts and a robe at
what
an
is he gonna do
armed
to you?
tactical guy, and he takes
He's
off.
wearing a Kevlar vest.
Yes.
Even he does like, oh, no.
And then that guy and the head of the team
They try to go in
went up
disguise.
as the two thieves to the side of
Who
Jesus.
get crucified with Jesus.
Yes.
And they get their watch stolen and their gun stolen. But one of the ladies that finds Jesus at the tomb when he's resurrected
Yeah, and
finds one of the other watches.
They mime also Yeah, they understood that he resurrected.
He has risen.
So Ahmed teleports back in time into the tomb because he's like, hey, this guy can't be Jesus.
Hence the glow sticks.
Hence the glow sticks. This guy can't be Jesus. I'm going to prove that he was just a prophet. But not the Son of God. I'm not sure. I guess he was going to wait to see if he resurrected in the tomb. Because he teleports directly into the tomb.
Yeah.
Once again, the fact that he knows where...
exactly where the tomb is.
Then I will go. His body will be in the tomb. When they come to steal it, I'll kill them all.
You should let me go.
No. This is an honor I want. Jesus might have been a prophet, but he isn't God. I can prove it.
Well, see, it seems a little... It seems funny to say odd, but that's what I'm saying, the propaganda angle. It's not... It's the fact that you slip in this whole Muslim trying to prove it's not that Jesus isn't what he is. It could just simply be, let's use guns and... It's going to be a funny sentence. Let's just use guns and time travel to tell the kids the story of the resurrection. It already sounds hilarious, but it seems weird to just shoehorn in the fact it's a Muslim guy like, and now we're going to prove it's not him.
I mean, just anti-religious zealot, or I guess that's oxymoron. Some sort of group. It's like you think you're doing a service by being like, oh no, they're just extremists. Like, no, you still slap Muslim on the name there. Yeah. You're done. You blacklisted them.
Everybody who thought Sound of Freedom was ridiculous owes that movie an apology, and I haven't even seen it. But I guarantee you, it is far more of a streamlined, straight-ahead thriller with faith undertones than this frigging cluster flup.
All right, either way, the Ahmed, the main bad guy, teleports into the tomb, puts a bunch of glow sticks around so he can see.
I suppose.
And he's gonna wait to see if Jesus resurrects.
Stick line to make me laugh. Do you understand? I thought it was the funniest thing Mateo had ever
see them
said.
glow sticks?
I wrote it down in my journal that Mateo said a funny thing. That was in the movie.
Jesus resurrects by rocketing out of the tomb. Like shattering the...
Yes, it explodes the door or the
I mean, I guess they did that to explain why no one would have seen him crawl, like the guards wouldn't have seen him crawl out of the tomb.
And he neatly folds the...
Yeah, why was that
whatever cloth...
Why was that... Is that part of the story?
Not that I know of, but maybe...
And lo, the two disciples saw the neatly folded linen and said, only one man in my life folds with that type of precision. Nay.
But then Ahmed teleports out before anything, like before the explodes. Jesus explodes.
Oh, there's glow sticks. Someone from the future must have been here. Come on. Come on!
Well, someone from the future was here. There are glow sticks everywhere.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
It's okay, Amy. It doesn't hurt anymore.
So then Jesus is resurrected. He tries to help.
Why are you trying?
The girl. I'm trying to see if I...
Because
he's done remarkably well, all things considered.
He tries this. He doesn't save the girl. He says, I'm going to save you by letting you
like
die.
and subscribe for more of this.
It's the most confusing episode ever.
He tries to save he says the girl is not going to be saved. She's going to be saved by death because she'll be in heaven, whatever. And then...
yes, they're just screaming at him.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the plot because we're missing a lot of stupid scenes.
He reunites.
There's a whole scene on the cross where he's begging Jesus while he's half dead.
It's like, fine.
In the burning
She's
heat.
in paradise too, right? You're all in paradise. I'm being crucified. You understand what that feels like?
Then he reunites with the black guy, and they
time
travel together by wearing the same bracelet.
They go back to
the present.
And he has a protocol already set called Mom and Dad Protocol where it's going to reverse everything.
What? Yes. Well, now we can talk about the scene where, because the parents who are about to get shot can see the sun through the window, right?
No, they see a mirror.
No.
Which I think would have been
that
more...
would have made it even funnier.
It would have been
but
more...
the fact that their son runs in half naked, just shoots the guards,
Hold on. They teleport back. So the guy tells the computer, hey, this whatever Mom and Dad Protocol, that'll do something. And then the black guy's, probably shouldn't keep mentioning his race. He's like, hey, you got to shoot the hard drive that will blow up the whole system.
As soon as I
teleport back.
Is he really real?
Dude,
crap! He just hit the hard drive.
10, 15,
30,
hour
40.
just ripping, clawing at your own skin, hoping this would end. And then you're like, wait, no, he needs to learn a lesson. He needs to learn to get his faith again. He needs to believe in God again.
Because
he needs to forgive God for this and that. He just
I
way too much.
believe it was torturous, absolutely torturous at the end. But if you cut 30, the absurdity and the lack of winking delivery, it's so good. If you would cut off a chunk, I would say this is one of the all-time greats.
Make it a comedy, cut a half hour off, and don't make the film at all.
No, this is so bad.
This should, yeah, that's the
No,
best
cut a half hour off, and it's gorgeous.
This should be a 6-part TV series.
Mm-hmm. Some Left Behind type stuff.
Yes.
Get Kirk Cameron in there.
Yes.
And Willie Ames.
And you give time to the characters to emote something in the middle of this.
Give us an emotion.
Yes.
Joy, sadness.
Do something.
It's otherwise it really is something.
It's an asylum. Level acting.
Also, they borrowed the set from the asylum.
Dude, there's plastic PVC piping that looks like they're stuck in the meat lockers.
Better or worse than Anatar's spaceship?
At least you had like the blue duct to not juxtapose, but almost to be like, hey, this is a cartoonish environment. Yeah. I'll accept it easier than this laboratory, which is supposed to be the highest grade, bringing in the new minds.
Because this one is just is really
shitty.
Besides that.
It's unbelievable.
It has a...
No, it's unbelievable.
What's the set design or the...
No, just some of the lines they say.
No, we're talking about the set now. We're talking about the set.
Yes. And also there is an eclipse.
Solar eclipse.
Man, you know, all this historical stuff is incredibly accurate.
And the last shot is incredibly dark when it pans up.
Girls, I don't know what just happened, but I think God was looking out for our family.
They were just trying to get it done that day.
Yeah, probably.
They didn't want to come back.
And then you left to pee, and then Mateo's like, "I wonder if
hold on. You gotta get to your scene with the parents. So he comes. He's able to teleport himself outside the facility, and the guards rushing after him, and then they try to shoot him, but they get blown up because of the failsafe he has in the system. So then he runs in and tries to save his parents in the past who are being murdered in front of his past self.
Yes.
Wait, but then, okay, yeah. So then he shoots the guys, and he's like, Mom, Dad, are you okay? And his dad's like,
We're fine. I've got a knife in my front pocket. Cut us loose.
Are you okay? What is going on?
I created a time machine. Ahmed used it to kill Jesus. What? I have to go back and kill Ahmed.
What?
Who is your dad that he's equipped to handle a situation like this? Like, I assume they're just a loving mother and father, a little suburban couple who get dragged out of their homes into this.
Imagine if you cast like Stephen Tobolowsky as his dad, and there's like, Dad, let's go, and just picks up an AK and starts acting like he's Rambo out of nowhere.
So then he goes and like everyone's equipped to deal with the situation in the moment without even like any sense of like human emotion. Like, okay, I need to do this and that. It's just like, no, I instantly accept my circumstances and I know how to deal with it.
I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed because I thought that they could see the sun through the window, that the glass window.
You think that would kind of help draw on his heartstrings? Be like, hey, you can see your parents, they can see you. They're fearing for their life. I'm not just going to kill them in 5 seconds because that deletes my entire bargaining chip to get you to give me the code.
But can you imagine if they were seeing the sun in a second, half-naked sun runs in, and they just go with it? That's what I thought was so funny. A little bit has been taken away from me because they can't see him through the window.
Yes. So then there's a whole shootout in the office of the Ahmed who's hiding under the desk the entire time this is happening.
Toss your weapon over there.
You killed Amy. Kid, I haven't killed anyone.
You haven't done it yet, but you're going to.
I lost my wife. I lost my little girls.
I forgive you. Dad, stop. I chased Ahmed in here.
Drop your weapons or I'll splatter her brains all over the room.
Put your gun down or I'll kill Brandt.
And he's fighting
like
with
George Costanza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Jerry, I'm trapped under my desk. Steinbrenner's in the room. You gotta help me.
Who is this?
Jerry.
Hi.
away.
Shh. Bye-bye. Shh. Get away.
Hi, I'm Brian.
And he's fighting with the head of security guy, and he's trying to.
The scientist has to forgive the head of the security guy
For his partner killed. No,
I have something.
He wasn't even the guy who killed Jesus, so why is he saying he's got?
I have something
He
controversial
just blames him
to
for
say.
everything and says, "I want to forgive you." For
I have
this."
something controversial to say.
Listen, man, we need to get through this.
Okay, he's gonna find it very controversial. You'll probably pick whatever, but the book ending of Agent Burt.
Don't even try, man.
The Craig Kilborn agent with the swoop haircut you hate. The book ending of the car accident, the forgiveness, and Heidi's line of something God's
He should
about
have to
bless
forgive,
you.
not the
Listen,
not the scientist.
I don't hate it.
No, sure.
I don't hate
sure,
it.
sure.
I don't hate the book ending the British accent.
You may not be saving the world, but you're a hero to them. And you're my hero too, darling.
That British accent.
I don't hate it. I'm sorry if it's controversial.
They stole it from Signs.
Did they? I don't hate it. Probably because of what, like I said, with the line of I bootlegged your DVD. It's a breath of comedy.
All right, you need to also give when you say something. You got to give Mateo.
Oh right, so
never mind. We'll just show this in. We'll just show this in.
Fuck up and let him do an edit.
Who kills Ahmed? What's his name? Ahmed? Or are we just saying that?
I think it's Ahmed.
Oh God, Mateo, you got me saying it.
What was the black character's name? Leroy, and the white one was Chip, and the terrorist was Ahmed,
the dude actually kills him.
What about the guy that talks like this?
With the same sword that he killed, or dagger that they killed his parents with.
The scientist kills.
He drives it into his heart, which is pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
But okay, so in the middle of this scene where he's got a gun on the white dude, Jesus Christ,
Superstar.
the security guy, his parents rush in with a gun and they're like, "Oh, hey son, what do you need us to do?" I'm like, "Dude, who are you people? How are you like just handling the situation right now?"
And they get shot again.
Yeah.
The father gets shot again.
And like he brought his wife there too, like she's just dragging along.
See, I'm being denied some awesomeness because at least the dad, we don't establish that he is, but he looks at least action hero-esque. That's what I'm saying. I want them to cast like a Stephen Tobolowsky and then have him be like, "Son, what do you need us to do?" Like it's no big deal. You could make this is funny as a so bad it's
like,
good.
why even bring them
this
back
comedic
into the
masterpiece.
situation?
My stomach hurts.
They have to unify the family.
Or the idea like, hey, someone killed my parents, I'm going to kill your parents again. Or he did them.
The idea is that the message of Jesus needs to shine through, so he tells him when he's screaming at him on the cross, when the poor guy's dying in pain, he's like, "Look, you have to forgive Brant." I got it right. That's the way to save Betty. Barbara. That's the way to save that girl that's dying in front of you. And so when eventually he sees Brant that hasn't killed his parents yet, he says, "Hey."
Brant didn't even kill his parents. He wasn't even
Brant that hasn't
He wasn't
killed
even
someone.
in the room with him. He wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. Remember, he was out
All
of
right,
the room.
fine. He sees
That way
Brant before he kills.
He was sitting by the staircase the entire time.
But he killed in the
Questioning
future.
His life decisions. That's why he didn't even know that Ahmed, was the bad guy because he just thought he was like, "Oh, this guy's actually stealing information from the company."
Let me use my
But then we have
secret fists.
We have a whole another scene where like two security guards who work the front desk run in like, "Hey, what's happening, guys?" Like, "Oh, it's actually a whole terrorist organization that's been running this company the entire time."
This is my first day on the job.
Yeah. And then without even thinking, two guys run down the steps who I guess are in the inner circle of this terrorist group, and they just blow them away like, "Oh, don't worry, we got it, guys."
You didn't finish the forgiveness thing. He forgives Brant, so Jesus' message was clear, so that's why the whole thing comes together. That's the.
Why does he need to forgive Brant though?
Because Brant killed.
Brant didn't do anything.
In the future, Brant did.
Oh.
You killed my parents. Now you're gonna pay?
I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me.
You killed Amy.
Kid, I haven't killed anyone.
You haven't done it yet, but you're going to.
But no, Brant killed Jesus. I mean, he killed the gun.
Yeah, he had to.
I guess he killed his girl.
Right.
He shot his girl. Okay.
You even know what the fuck you're talking.
Listen,
like you do.
Yeah. It's a monumentally
Listen, guys, I think
complicated.
we're missing, and not even like key scenes that give anyone sort of context or structure to this because it's impossible. We don't even know. They don't even know. But it's just I'm thinking like, oh, there's probably a bunch of funny stuff we forgot about and just blew over.
Oh yeah, one of them is he steals a tomato, which they were not yet in Galilee by the year.
Just a tomato.
Where were tomatoes first grown?
In the Americas, and they were brought in the 16th century to Europe and then Asia.
Weed?
Columbus and all the people who follow him.
Oh.
And who grabs a tomato and eats it like an apple?
The only other person I know of is the sheriff in the Full House episode where Jesse gets arrested while skydiving. Flawless reference.
The whole town is tomato, though.
Still,
they're obsessed with tomatoes.
But there's also a festival in Italy where they're throwing tomatoes at each other.
Oh. Okay.
And then there is a final part that when apparently they have the time machine, a time machine hidden somewhere because clearly they're not in the lab. So the scientists decide to go back in the past, save Heidi Montag, just to close the circle and to bookend the movie, and they're all happy.
You even get a scene of the Brent in headgear in a wheelchair because there's even a scene where he's like, oh, I can't even move. Can you roll me over? He's like, oh, are you okay? What's wrong? I'm like, dude was just shot in the spine 6 times. What do you think's wrong, woman?
Are you unable?
I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it yourself?
Yes. But I'm like, why even put that scene, like, just unnecessary filler, which made it just that much more drawn out. Just cut right to the past where he's driving in the car.
Yeah, no.
And that family just looks very despicable and milquetoast. Just kill him.
Yes.
I don't think it was that big of a loss.
you left the room, but they literally MCU'd us.
Dude, I had
it
to
was
piss. On top of just the anger and the confusion, there was just physical pain in my bladder of having to piss for the last 25 minutes of this.
Richard Roper.
And there was...
They MCU it, dude!
There is
He's in the future!
Coming soon that he goes in 30 years in the future. Because Marty McFly went 30 years in the future. Coincidence?
What were they trying to stop? Or
I have no idea.
He says...
There's no indication?
He says...
It must be pretty important to send all these troops.
We need to find out why the Antichrist wants us.
Oh.
You missed that crucial element.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants who here?
The Antichrist wants Jim Schmidt there.
Who's Jim Schmidt?
What's our main protagonist name?
Ram.
Scientist.
Ram.
Oh.
Ram.
Damn, I was about to make a funny joke of $20 if you can tell me, but yeah, Ram, that's easy to remember.
And you asked $20. Yeah, because they get to the future and there is gun sounds, and so there is a war. And some soldiers say...
They materialize out of nowhere.
They literally say that.
And say, fine.
Oh, hey, they materialize. I
They
mean,
don't
granted,
even
maybe 30
bother.
years in the future they have that technology.
How is it so skillfully... It's impressive how deaf it is to to the needed tone to make this palatable and not just clunky technical dialogue.
This is a bit of a brother to Toxic Obsession because, granted, Toxic Obsession I would more
Brian Fernandez would never.
I would make the case more seriously that movie Toxic Obsession knew what it was doing. I would not do that with this one, but still there is still some alchemy where I'm telling you guys the way these lines are delivered without any winking is nirvana. It got tedious, but so many of these lines that talk about everything he said, Jesus, time travel, shooting, parents, Ahmed, terrorist, one true God, they are the way are delivered. This is a moment. This is a moment in our sad lives where we do this for fun.
That's why everything was blowing up on the time pad.
Exactly. We were inadvertently splitting the time continuum.
Well, this has certainly been a kerfluffle. Let's express our emotions by throwing pieces of paper. Mateo seems like he's at the ready. Maybe he'll start. Matthew's delineating.
I go with my go-to for this kind of stuff. And I go with 4.5. Because it's horrible, but it does exist. And it's one of those things that if somebody had told me, I probably wouldn't have believed it of its existence.
When you told us about it, I was like, whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
So
I was
4.5.
Going to say the same exact thing. I was going to give it a point, which after hearing your 4.5, I was going to do 4, but no, 4.5 for the same exact reason that it's not that good, it's not that bad, it's so good, it's not that funny, but it's just the fact that this exists and they did it seriously.
Yes.
As a Christian film, you got to at least be aware of its existence.
Yeah.
So 4.5.
Matthew's going to hate
Oh, of course.
$2.5.
That was not a half. That's like 0.7.
Right in the middle, because the last half hour was beyond tedious and it was excruciating. But I'm telling you guys, the irony-less, winkless way they deliver these absurd lines, as a goofball who worships comedy, some of this stuff is just too damn good. Cut a half hour of the crap at the end. This is a contender for all-timer midnight movie watch. There's too much. There's too much, to be clear. That's why he's like, what the hell?
It's
But
almost...
the lines that do get across are some of the greatest absurd lines. I promise you. It does get tedious, too long, too much, too convoluted, but you get some lines in the beginning. To my weird brain, I love them. Recommended with friends, not solo, but recommended with friends and probably some intoxicants.
I think it's just the shock that this exists and the shock of how they play it out was just too much for me to be like, I'm having fun watching a bad movie. This is fun to make fun of. It's just like, what? Wait, what? Why? What?
Richard Roper on the DVD cover. We only have this much space after the quote.
MaJaMa.
I said it in the beginning, I'm repeating it here. If you like hanging out with these idiotic goofballs you see in front of you, please hit the like button, drop a comment. It could be like, what is this? It could be a question. You can make fun of us, but do it. Subscribe if you haven't already, because he keeps us regular with content. We love doing this stuff for you. Please, help us out a little bit with the interaction. I'm going to stop begging now, because from our couch to yours at home, the paper, a weird movie about Jesus and that inflatable minion, makes this undoubtedly a jam. It's back. The sound is back. It's a good one.
Then you'll forget it next week. So.
That's part of the charm. They've come to expect that. And by them, even Paulo.
MaJaMa.
We can't kill him. Jesus is a prophet. We should honor him.
Yes, and that's what we will be doing. When he died, his disciples created the resurrection myth, which gave birth to Christianity. We can correct that.
No! No!